So, what even is a PhD? You've probably heard the term being thrown around, maybe even joked about becoming a doctor of something, but unless you're already in academia, it can feel like a mysterious thing people disappear into for years. Let's break it down simply and honestly because it's a PhD. A PhD stands for Doctor of Philosophy, but no, you don't actually have to study philosophy. It's basically a long research project where you try to answer a new question that no one's ever solved before. Think of it as your chance to become a world expert in a tiny corner of knowledge, like this one protein in this one brain cell under these specific conditions. In most countries, it takes about 3 to 5 years and sometimes even longer. You design experiments, collect data, write papers, and eventually submit a thesis the size of a small novel. If you survive all that, you've earned the right to call yourself a doctor. Sadly, despite what your family might assume, this doesn't mean you can write prescriptions, and your medical advice will just be drink water and take a nap. It's worth pointing out that a PhD structure looks slightly different depending on where you study. In the US, for example, PhDs often include coursework and teaching in the first couple of years, whilst in the UK and Europe, you usually dive straight into your research project. Either way, the common denominator is years of dedication. So why on earth would anyone sign up for this academic rollercoaster? Honestly, there are some pretty compelling reasons. First, curiosity. If you're the kind of person who can't stop asking questions, the kind of person who needs to know why or how something works, a PhD gives you the chance to actually pursue these questions. You get to generate ideas that could advance science and technology. Second, freedom. Unlike undergrad or master's programs where the structure is given to you, a PhD offers an unusual level of independence. You design your own research, set your own experiments, and develop your own hypotheses. This freedom can be great, but terrifying. But it's one of the unique aspects of PhD study. Third, careers. Completing a PhD opens up opportunities in academia, research, biotech, pharmaceuticals, and even industries you might not have initially expected. Along the way, you pick up a lot of transferable skills, like project management, problem solving, data analysis, and public speaking. These skills can be useful outside the lab, just as they are inside the lab. And let's not forget the title. For some people, being able to call themselves doctor is a motivator in itself. Whether it's hearing it at a conference, at the airport check-in desk, or from your barista, there's a little thrill in it. But of course, here's the flip side. A PhD is not for everyone, and that's perfectly okay. If your goal is financial stability, a predictable 9 to 5, or good work-life balance from the get-go, a PhD might not be the best path. The stipend is often modest compared to industry salaries, and the workload can feel relentless. Weekends off, not always guaranteed. There are also the mental and emotional challenges. Failed experiments are not a rare occurrence, they are routine. You spend hours, weeks, and sometimes months working on something that doesn't go as planned. Peer reviewers will pick apart your paper. You'll likely experience imposter syndrome, that constant feeling that you're not good enough, even though you absolutely are. And yes, there'll be late nights, early mornings, and the occasional crisis at 2 a.m. A good metaphor? A PhD is like running a marathon while juggling flaming torches. You're trying to keep everything in the air, experiments, writing, teaching, presentations, while also managing not to burn yourself out. It's definitely doable, but it's definitely not easy. So, should you do a PhD? Well, the answer depends on you. If you're passionate about research and curious about the unknown, are willing to accept several years of intellectual chaos, then yes, this might be the exact challenge for you. If you're someone who values financial stability or has other career goals that don't require it, then no, and that's perfectly fine. There is no right path to success. The most important thing is to be honest about why you want to do a PhD. Don't just do it because you think it sounds impressive or because you don't know what to do. It's too big of a commitment for that. Instead, think about whether the journey excites you and not just the destination. Because when hard days come, and trust me they will, the love for your project and your field is what will keep you going. So that's my breakdown of what a PhD really is and why you might or might not want to do one. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe for more science content, PhD survival tips, and behind the scenes of research life. And let me know in the comments, would you ever do a PhD? Or maybe you're already doing one? I want to share what surprised you the most. Either way, I'll love to hear your thoughts.